Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha our Mashiach, his voice. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our mighty one, he is one Yahuwah. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you Paul. His real name is Shaul. Let's ask Shaul. Shaul, who's in control? And this is part 4. How do you like this painting that I found from ancient antiquity in the Russian archives? This is supposed to depict the one they call Paul. You may be asking the same question. Why did the Europeans paint him as a melanated person? It's because he is. All of the modern art, they used the same painting and overlaid it with white paint so that you would think that the people of the book were white. Shaul, one of the greatest orators of his time. He was taught by Gamaliel, one of the greatest teachers of the law. This is why Yahuwah chose him to speak to those who were scattered in the nations. Paul is misquoted. People are lying on him. They're saying that he is teaching that you don't have to keep the law, that he is teaching that the law has been abolished. He's never taught that. The people who are saying those things, they wrest, they twist the scriptures to their own destruction. Shaul was a teacher of the law. This is why he is the perfect person to answer this question. Let's begin. Romans chapter 13. Verses 1 to 3. Verse 1. Let every soul be subject. There's that word again. Subject. Subjection. Submitted. Unto the higher powers. Plural. For there is no power, singular, but Yah. The powers that be are ordained by Yah. Is this clear? Do we need a translator? Brother David, are you telling us that the principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness, that they serve Yah? For there is no power, singular, but Yah. The powers that be are ordained by Yah. Shaul is not playing here. He's letting you know who's in control. In verse 1. Here's another observation. Shaul is going to tell you to follow the higher powers, to keep their laws. But yet he's going to tell you that the law of Yahuwah is abolished. The people who say that rest, twist the scriptures to their own destruction. Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yah. Brother David, what is an ordinance? An ordinance is a piece of legislation set up by an authority. Who is the supreme authority? Who is the power? Yah. And they that resist shall receive to themselves destruction. You got that? When you're resisting arrest, when you're resisting authorities in this world, who are you resisting? Who set up this piece of legislation? Yah. Verse 3. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. So they're not sent here to terrorize you if you do right. But if you do wrong, you will receive destruction. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Singular. Who is the power? Yah. Who has given the legislation to the higher powers? Yah. So if you do that which is good, you will receive praise of the same. What same? The power. Who is that? Yah. You're not looking for praise from the white man. You're a pilgrim passing through. You're here to be tried as gold is tried. You're here to learn how to keep the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. Brother David, we live in America. We have a man who's standing in the bully pulpit every day. You mean to tell me that Yahuwah has put this man over us? The answer is yes. Verse 4. For he is the minister of Yah to thee for good. You must be kidding me, Brother David. You mean Yah put him, Donald Trump, in this office for our good? Yes. And we don't see it. Do you know why? We have aligned ourselves too much with this country. What do we say? Donald Trump is destroying our country. This is not your country. You're just a pilgrim passing through. You're here to be trained. You're here to be tried. This is your last chance. What has he done, this Trump person? What has he done to black people? Well, most black people will say things like this. He's a racist. Do you know what racist means? He only promotes a certain group of people. He elevates only that group of people. Did you know that we are racist also? We only promote the children of Yasharal. If you're promoting anyone else, you have twisted values in your mind. Everyone in the world hates us. even your own people. We have to only stick to those who keep the law. Who's my brother, my mother, my sister, my cousins, my father. Only those who do the will of my Father. So we're angry at Donald Trump because he's promoting his people. Man, how powerful we would be if we only promoted our own, shopped at our own, elevated our own. But we drank the Kool-Aid. But if you do that which is evil, be afraid. So as long as you're doing good, there's no problem. But when you do evil, be afraid, for he beareth the sword, and not in vain. For he is the minister of Yah. There it goes again. He's Yah's minister. Did the Electoral College put him in that place? Only Yahuwah can set up kingdoms. A revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Do you know it says that he is the minister of Yah to thee for good? Do you know what his purpose is? To destroy his own people. To destroy the European nations. Yes, that's right. Look at the strategy that is used. He's been given a lying spirit. You know, just like in Ahab. Do you know that evangelicals say that Donald Trump is a prophet of God, sent by God? No, he's sent by Yah. And he has been sent down with a lying spirit to destroy his own people. Let me give you an example. He's removed this country from all of its allies overseas. Yeah. He's talking about taking away funding from WHO, the World Health Organization, in the middle of a pandemic. He's telling his people to take bleach, put a light down your throat. And you know some of them are doing it. Now he's telling them to take hydroxychloroquine, a drug that's unproven. Is he pointing this towards us? No, it's after his own people. But if you listen to him, if you follow him, he will lead you to death. But Brother David, you said that he is the minister of Yah. So we have to follow him. No. We have to follow the laws that are on the books. Get it right. Just like we have to follow our Father's laws that are on the book. Here's another thing that he's doing. Right here in front of your face. Do you remember the Tower of Babel? They were building this tower. Yahuwah came down to see it. He said as long as they are in agreement, there's nothing they cannot do. So what did he do? Confuse their speech. Next thing you know, they broke off from what they were building and separated. Every day you see on the news, all of them are speaking the same language, but yet their speech is confused. They don't understand one another. There's no more agreement. There's only argument. United, you stand. Divided, you fall. He has come to divide this nation. Verse 5. Wherefore, you need to be in subjection. Wow. We hate that word, subjection. That means we have to follow instructions. That means not to be a rebel. Subjected to what? Donald Trump and hydroxychloroquine or bleach? No, to the law. Not only for wrath, not just because you're trying to escape the sword, jail, or fines, but also for your conscience sake, knowing that you've done all that you can do to keep Yahuwah's ways. Verse 6, for this cause pay your taxes also. Shaul is covering all, isn't he? For they are Yah's ministers. Tells you that again. I think we've heard this about 3 or 4 times. Attending continually upon this very thing. See, Yahuwah sets up kingdoms all through the universe. We don't know what's happening. We've been led astray by the church, thinking that man was in control, that the devil was in control. Now we understand through our brother Shaul who is in control. His name is Yahuwah. Let me show you another witness. Daniel chapter 2, verse 21. And he changeth the times and the seasons. Who does that? Yahuwah. Men do it also. How do they do it? On a calendar. How does Yahuwah do it? He created the orbs in the sky. He changes times and seasons at the source. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. Ask Ahab. He knows about that now. Ask King Saul. He fell upon his own sword. Who did Yahuwah set up in his place? King David. He giveth wisdom unto the wise. Now, if he gives wisdom unto the wise, who chooses? How do you know if a person has wisdom? And knowledge to them that know understanding. This is the problem. Our people perish for a lack of knowledge. You cannot understand the scriptures unless you understand the law. That should be your primary focus. Learning the law. Everything is centered around the law throughout the whole universe. Do you see? That's what this whole thing in Shaul chapter 13 of the book of Romans, it's all about the law, brothers and sisters. It's about keeping it. It's about penalties if you break it. We do not understand those things because America, the principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness that is set up, like Donald Trump, they teach you civil disobedience. They don't keep their own laws. You want to be like them. You want to go out in the streets without a mask. This law is on the book. It's an ordinance. You want to go out in the streets without a mask. Oh, I don't believe in that coronavirus junk. Bill Gates and Fauci, they created this thing. Every conspiracy theory in the book, you will follow. But you will not go to the law, the ways of Yahuwah, to find out what to do. What are we supposed to do then, Brother David? Put on your mask. This ordinance has been created to keep you protected. That's why it was set up. Look at all the people who are dying. All of the rebels. You can see them today. Still having church services, pastors are dying all over the place, talking about I can lay hands on you and you will be healed in the name of Jesus. Isn't that some dumb mess? What about when our people, our young people, and older ones, but not too much older ones, you mostly see the young ones. They get pulled over by the police. They're watching all of these YouTube videos, what to do when you get pulled over by the police. I know my rights. Why'd you pull me over? What reason do I have to give you my license? No, it's not how it works. That's why we're getting killed and locked up in jailhouses and abused. Let me give you the proper procedure. If the police a police officer pulls you over, put your hand on the steering wheel. When he comes up to you, he says, license, registration, insurance. You say, yes, sir. May I remove my hands from the steering wheel to get my license? When he says yes, you proceed. When you pass him your license, registration, insurance, put your hands back on that steering wheel. If somebody else is in the car, have them all have their hands on the dashboards. If they're in the back seat, have their hands on the back of the seat so they can see. Remember something. Yahuwah has sent the sword after rebels. When he comes back to give you, after he's checked you out, he comes back to give you your license, your registration, your insurance. He'll tell you why he pulled you over. If he gives you a ticket, what do you say? Thank you, sir. Guess what happened? You made it home that day because you did that which is good, not that which is evil. You didn't resist the powers that he set up over you. What about this social distancing thing? Why do you want to be close to somebody today anyway? I mean, people are not clean. They're coughing and they're sneezing and you want to go and hug all over them. You got the flu. You got colds. You got the coronavirus. You have so many other different diseases. This thing is mutating now. It's turning into something else. You know why? Because the children of Yasharal don't believe that it's true. So the Father says, well, let me show them something new. Why did he do this? Because we rebelled against him. Because we transgressed his laws. Because we went whoring after other gods. He said that he's done this. He sent the sword, the famine. He sent the plague. And still, these stiff-necked, unmovable Yasharalites did not return to him. He's even going to kill our babies. I mean, that sounds wild. He's going to kill our babies? He told us, if you refuse knowledge, I'm going to refuse you and your children. They shall die by the sword. What makes us think he's a liar? We want him to be a truth teller if he's giving us some money or some things. But when it comes to judgment, no, we don't accept that. Well, judgment comes with righteousness, brothers and sisters. It will find you and your children. Well, Brother David, that don't sound good to me. Because black lives matter. What lives matter? Only the ones that you choose? Why are you not protesting about the brothers killing each other? Why you're not protesting about the women aborting their babies at such a high rate. It is unbelievable. So what lives matter? Well, only when a white man shoots down one of our own. Why did he shoot him down? Civil disobedience. Well, Brother David, this man Aubrey, he didn't do anything. He was just jogging down the streets. And you're right. He didn't do anything. He did not turn back to Yahuwah. Did we forget that we're still under the curse? We're still serving other gods. We're not keeping his commandments. You ask that question, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, here's your answer. We're only speaking about our own. We're not speaking about white folks or any other group of people. Why does it happen to us? Because we transgress the laws. Why can't we get that in our head? We're not like them. We are Yahuwah's creation. We have to follow a different set of rules. In order to go into the kingdom, we have to keep these rules. Yahuwah has sent judgment upon us because we have moved so far away from his rules. And still we won't find our way back. Because we love Jesus. We love Allah. We love whoredom. We love tattoos. We love fornication and adultery. No one thinks about that when our brothers get killed, do they? Judgment is upon us. Here's the last one I have for you. They told us to shelter in place. Do you see all the brothers that are getting beat up in New York and all over the country, thrown in jail because they don't want to stay in their homes? Do you remember at the Exodus when the last plague came, which is death? Yahuwah told us, slaughter a lamb, spread the blood upon the doorposts. What would happen when you do that? You stay in your home and death will pass you by. Because your door is covered by the blood. When death sees the blood on your door and you're inside, he keeps it moving. What about those who ventured out and decided to break that ordinance? If you were one of the firstborn, you would die. Death would find you. Listen to me. If others ventured out, did everyone die if they all ventured out? Only the firstborn. See? There's a different method for each person. One killed by the plague, one killed by the sword, one killed by the famine. If you miss one, the other will catch you. And if you miss all of them, when you get into the wilderness, you will be destroyed there. Stay in your homes. If you have to go to work and come home. Don't be looking to go to venues, football games, clubs, hanging out in the streets with your friends, going to the movies, any of the things that you used to do. Bury it. Stay home. Study the law. And keep it. Now, these instructions are from Yahuwah, not from me. They are the ministers of Yah for your good. But if you do evil, they bear the sword. Shalom.